Right. It is 3:20 p.m. coming out of Chiang Mai, Thailand. It's an hour and 20 minutes into when it opened. Nothing significant happening. I actually already pre-charged a little bit today, so tomorrow I'll be actually doing, I won't be doing that. I'll just be recording when I'm charting. But just to go over things really quickly, obviously still in this pretty bullish uptrend, but we do have these 4-hour, this 4-hour internal downtrend. Break a structure here. And a break a structure here. So we could easily continue that. We did come back up to the protected low of the 4-hour, and we did not take it out. However, I do have this potential short, and this is something that I would look to turn from a scalp, taking profits at this internal range low here, or at the extreme, and then I'd be move my stop to break even, and I'd be targeting I would call this kind of, I guess you could call this whole thing an extended range, but I'm going to call this the swing range for the fun of it. So I'd be targeting around this area for my second take profit. This is my priority in terms of the trades that I would like to take, but there is a few other trade options that I could be looking for today. And sorry, by the way, I'm just getting over a cold right now, so my voice is a little bit choppy. All right, so as I said, this is going to be kind of my, oh, sorry, that's actually wrong. This is going to be my swing range, right? Get rid of this VWAP. Actually, I'm going to keep that there for a sec. This is just an anchored VWAP from the low. All right. So in the premium section of this swing range, we do have another range. We have an internal range here from previous day's high to previous day's low. And an SFP of the internal range would also end up being an SFP of my swing range. And I'd be looking to, as an order flow objective, to come take this liquidity up here, probably have some liquidity. And a way that I would probably end up taking the trade is looking for the overflow objective to be completed, SFP to that wick, that highland or shallow that, come back in, close within the range, and then get like a bearish rate of structure. So of course, there's a break of structure, looking for something like that. And then I'd probably be looking to get in, not on the market, but on the retest of the range initiated supply level. And that could be on a lower time frame, potentially a 2 or 3 minute chart, depending on how clear and cut it looks. And there's a lot of trap traders up here, which we could use exit charts, footprint charts to see. And we're moving away from that direction. We do get that bearish break of structure. I would very much so love this trade. As for longs, there is within this internal structure potential long for an S&P or a deviation of the internal structure's low. I'd be a little more careful for that. And I'm not prioritizing. I'm prioritizing this short. As for even more dialed in scalps, we do have this fractal range within the internal range within the swing range. Pretty cut and dry. It's between our lows here and our weekly open, of course. It is Monday. So an SFP of this high could be interested in a potential short, an SFP of this low, same kind of thing for a long. We do have an order block with imbalance down here, and our anchor VWAP a lot lower. In this case, I would be actually prioritizing the long for this scalp setup because we'd be farther away from VWAP, even though VWAP would probably come down a little bit, but we could easily take a long up to VWAP or slightly above the range equilibrium for our first take profit. I know it's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and then we could take the rest potentially up here, or we'd be targeting our extreme of the internal range, a really nice risk to reward ratio, and that could eventually end up going to be our swing short theory or idea. So I'd be, I want to remove that. So I'd be prioritizing this as probably, a trade that could happen relatively sooner than later. I do have my alerts set. So if we do actually deviate this, I'm not looking for something that bounces within here. Although I'm sure on the lower time frame structure, you could find a potential POI, such as, maybe not. Maybe there's really nothing. Yeah, I guess you could say here, but that's no. If we bounce from there, I'm not gonna get into a lot. I'd be looking for an actual deviation to the range, create kind of a Wyckoff model 2 accumulation, and I'd be targeting at least the EQ of the range, and then move stock to break even or take profits there, or both. And then I would consider kind of what happens up here. If we deviated this again, it is bearish range structure. I'd close the position completely. But if we started breaking out of the range, of course, I'd be looking for more of an extreme of the total range. And that would be potentially that trade setup. So yeah, favoring the long for the nearest opportunity for scalp long. Not so much favoring a short. Be really careful with this one. And again, looking at our internals. Let's get a nice range volume profile. The internals here. Again, not favoring this along here on the internal range, but instead this short. Again, we would be targeting this area for potential first take profits, maybe there's stop to entry, and then we'd be looking to take profits at the extreme of this more swing range. So potentially some more here. I guess I don't need to add this twice. All right. So I think that's really it for potential trade setups for today for me. Just all range deviations. I don't really like anything else for those ideas. I mean, I don't really see any other ideas that I like, I should say. As for the calendar, yeah, I did see, so there's nothing for today, nothing important, nothing tomorrow, but Wednesday there's CPI. That will be pretty interesting. There's PPI, and then we got Friday, which is consumer sentiment. That'll be interesting. So we do have some interesting events. It looks like on CPI will be an hour before New York Open on Wednesday, and our consumer sentiment would be an hour and a half after New York Open on Friday. We could be easily range bound, potentially. Could be range bound within this swing range. Oops, I didn't need to do that. Until Wednesday. It's a little bit larger of a range than I would expect, though. So we could extend this range maybe a little bit more, be within this range. And I could see this range until potentially Wednesday before any significant big moves. But I'm still favoring the short, and not this long again, but I am looking for that nearest opportunity for the deviation of this fractal range within the internal range within the swing range. And that's about all I'm looking for today. If the wick here does hit this OBIM, I would not be covering that as a stop loss, and so I probably would not take the trade, because that'd be a horrible, actually it's not the worst, but you know, our wick structure could happen up here. And so, yeah, not the greatest risk to reward ratio, but more of a shallow SFP and a break of structure, bullish break of structure. There could be some opportunities here for that long. Short's really hard again, especially with the VWAP where it is. If we have a round in this scalp section for a little bit, that could potentially open up some opportunities for that scalp short. And yeah, it's pretty much all. So I set my alert. So it's time to walk away, enjoy the day, and see if price comes to our POIs. And if they do, see how things react at those POIs. Everything's situational, not setting any limit orders, always looking for reactions. Anyways, that concludes it. We'll see y'all tomorrow.